Hello guys and welcome to Civil War 2, and I don't know what I'm going to call the series. I'm going to call it Y'all Need Cotton. I was going to do originally a mod for Crusader Kings 2 where it's like in American. I was going to call it Y'all Need Feudalism, but it doesn't, the mod doesn't work for me. But anyway, y'all indeed need my cotton. So we have our force over here out in the far west. We're under Sterling Price. Now, unfortunately, Mr. Sterling Price does not seem to have the ability to take command of the troops in such a way as a corps. Which is kind of painful. Now, we can combine some of these units, these militiamen. There we go. Makes it a little bit easier to handle. Volunteers. I'm quite happy about this cavalry. We have proper professional cavalrymen over here, which is quite handy. I could potentially use them to cause some havoc. Right, so we have Springfield over here. Jefferson City, Rolla, Lexington over in the north there. St. Louis is the biggest prize, of course. I'd like to try and take these ports though. These ports tended to have quite a little bit of, I say quite a little bit, that doesn't even make sense. They tended to have a good amount of naval resources. It's kind of where they were building their ironclads in the last series. I don't think they'll have any now, but it would be good to hold on to them. So let's take a look then. Right, so we could go for all these forts over here and burn them along the way, and then at least we make it harder for the Union to move in this area. So I think we'll send some of our forces that way. I also do need to take care of this. So I'm going to send my forces over here to Fort Wayne. What is that, Fort Better? No? Benson? Is it Benson? Yeah. Right, we'll send them over to Benson. Okay. Have them enter the structure. I do want them to move further, but actually, I think we'll try and take up to over here in Fort Smith. If we can get to Fort Smith, then that would be lovely. We'll go with Force March then. Helps if I actually press Force March. Good. Right, if we can make it over here to Fort Smith, we can try and burn some of these down and try and make it harder for the Union. And as well, capturing them, and then we could try and make our way to Shawnee. Now, I'm in two minds about what I should do with this force. It's not a very strong force, but it's a force nonetheless. I could put some pressure on the St. Louis area by moving forward to Jefferson. Especially if I took Charles MD, that's quite important. I'd love to try and take Lexington, especially while the Union is fairly weak right now. Lexington, Leavenworth, whatever it is, Council Bluffs. Yeah, these sorts of objectives over here far in the center would be brilliant. Alright. Oh dear, that command point is hideous. Right, how many forces do we have here? 6,400. We'll break off the cavalry. I do have some more cavalry over here. Sterling Price's cavalry. Yeah. Was that Arkansas cavalry? 20 days now. What a shame. Instead, we'll head to Mound City. Centerville. Go on offensive posture so we can capture stuff, but go on feint/probe, so they'll just basically withdraw as soon as they encounter anything. We do have some Indian forces over here that will come online fairly soon. We'll take a look at this then. So, how long until they come? 14 turns? I can sincerely doubt that. Most likely when some Union forces come by. Right, Virginia Cavalry, Tennessee. Right, yes, the Memphis Squadron. South Carolina. Yes, we need this force to come. So we'll get them next turn. I'm gonna really need those guys. We're moving across the river, which is lovely. Now we do have an interesting force over here. I could move some forces over here to make sure they can't move past my men. Right, we have the general pull there. It's one of the problems with the area that we have to hold. I mean, if we let go of Manassas, we lose control of that rail, and losing control of that rail is effectively killing ourselves in this area in terms of mobility. But I need to try and draw the Union to an area that doesn't particularly matter. Alexandria would be lovely to hold again. It also depends. It really depends on how the Union moves. I mean, I like the fact that they're moving these forces out here. It could end up being a larger battle than I was bargaining on. But we'd have to see. We'd have to see. Yeah, those forces are moving out over there. Of course, I could just allow them to stay there for the turn and instead go for the fort over here. Or just try and engage them down here and just minimise the risk of engagement with that army as well. Which could be a good idea, I suppose. It would definitely be the wiser option, so we'll go over here. Sustained attack if they cross. Yeah, we have all these forces over here. We also have these forces here. The Plymouth Squadron and the Patrick Henry Squadron and those gunboats. That's good to know. Chesapeake. However you say it. People told me how to say it, but I just can't do it. Ah, lovely. So I believe we had some kind of uprising over here and they destroyed the rails. That's incredibly useful right now. Hell yeah. I'm really quite happy with that one. What's the loyalty over here? 75% loyalty. Let's get that up higher. That's really good, especially for Baltimore. Only a regular. I'd love to try and get this force in over here and we can try and sweep in for Baltimore. We do need more forces though, we absolutely do need more forces. Right, new supply unit. So we've got two of them over here, we've got one over there. How large is this force over here? Of course we need to get a 3-star general over here. Shelby's force, the Army of the West. We are building forces down here to hold on to New Orleans. I don't trust the Union. I know they're going to try and naval invade me at some point. It's an inevitability, yeah. But I'd rather be in a position to defend against them. To defend against any kind of naval incursions. Our forts are kind of low on strength, which sucks. Let's take a look at our war production then. We're looking good over here. It's these cannons, of course, but that's always the problem. Now we have 174 conscript companies with $1,836. That'll have to do for now. That'll have to do, pig. That'll do. Right, the Suffolk Militia I'm already moving out. There's not particularly too much else I can do right now. So we'll have to decide what we want to do with this force. I could leave the cannons here, and my men would move a lot faster. They would of course lose that firepower, and that's a lot of firepower right there. Of course, that firepower could be well used over here. It would obviously take a hell of a long time, considering the fact there's no rail connections over here. So I suppose we'll keep it with this for the time being. I think we're going to head towards Springfield, actually. Oh, Rolla. We'll head towards Rolla. But I'll go towards Springfield. We can at least resupply in Springfield. And then we can continue on our way to Rolla. Oh, Rolla. I'm going to call it Rolla. Yeah. I need to get across the Missouri and try and get at Charles MD. That would be the greatest opportunity for me to cause havoc. Destroy those rails, cause general transport chaos. That's generally the idea here. Okay. So, I've waffled on quite long enough. We'll have to get on with a turn then, shan't we? You will be active in another turn. So I need to get those forces either out of there or reinforce them, because it's not a good position. Though I would love control this rail line. If I could control that rail line, that really... it would help. I mean, they do have a massive rail network. I'd love to get the British involved. If I could get the British involved, that would really help. It would just split their efforts. But I'll take whoever wants to come in. Rightio. I do not believe we have any other options right now. Let's take a look. Yeah, we're going to increase the rail pool. That's going to be vital. I can't afford any of these yet because I don't have any war supply. Now, basically, these would increase the amount of war supply that we'd have, and etc, etc, etc. Now, I could spend $10,000 for around 25 victory points and increase it by another 10, which I think I am going to do, actually. National morale is not something I need to care too much about, because if it starts dropping too low, then it's already too late anyway. So, yeah, I need to get that up as quickly as possible, and as high as possible. And then if the Union makes any big mistakes, it's really gonna hurt them. I am really happy that we did break the rails over here at Baltimore, though. That's going to prove, really good. Right, we've seen a force over there led by a 3-star general. Interesting. I think the rail was repaired. Yeah, there's a larger force over here. Though we have taken a force over here to Friedrichstown, and we do have our force over here, which we can make into an army. So we're going to make that into the army of the Shinoda. Shinoda. My Sharona. Right. I could do with sending forces over here. I need to try and hold this area. If I can hold it, then we'll be good. Is there any supplies here? No. Right. We're going to start building a depot over here. I have that force. Okay. Mr. Beauregard. You seem to have a force that's much too large. You should be showing me a picture. Why is it showing me a picture? God damn it. Holmes Brigade. Who do we have here then? Bonham. A 311, a 536. Mr. Longstreet is really good. Right, he also has the entrencher ability. God damn it, Evans. I'd love to. Okay. We'll give you control of this brigade. Right, you're a 311. And that's his conscript company. Built in with some cavalry. And some artillery. It's larger than this one, though. Another, like, 600 men, but it does not have the cannon. But I'll take that extra group of men there. We do have the Potomac artillery over here, which is fantastic. So already that's quite a significant amount of power. How much are we over by? Yeah, we're over quite a bit. Hello, what was that? Saw it just then, I'm sure I did. Huh. Somebody could combine. I saw it light up for a moment then. Damn it. I could wheel my forces over here, the army of the Shinoda, or Shinoda, whatever it is, over down here, and we could potentially bring ruin to Irvin McDowell. Okay. I can't remember this, so this is new. We'll have you guys move out down here. Right, that's quite a large amount of men there, the Carolina. Okay. Significant force here. 5,000-6,000 men. This artillery would be really much better use over here. How about send down there? Okay. So 2 command points. Let's get these guys out of here. Right, just one more. I can make up for that one. Okay. Now, it really comes down to a few options here. I could either go north and try and help out over there, but it's ultimately irrelevant to the grander fight at hand. We could send forces over here, which we already do have these forces. I wish I kind of left these guys over here, just because I'm a little bit worried of what could happen. But we'll have to see what happens then. I mean, we're going to dig in over here. If we can hold on to this area here and start to entrench a little bit and make it difficult for the Union boys to come over here and take it back from us, then that's quite handy. I could have them defensive works. I can't get those two because they don't have the military control of the area, which is a shame. But it's definitely a possibility in the future. It will make it a little bit tougher for the Union to take it from us. Those goddamn Union men. Always taking my babies. Right. Counterintelligence. I never really use that one. It doesn't really get used. I imagine it's used quite a lot as a Union. Right, plunder is also something I want to take advantage of. Speaking of plunder. Captured those. That's not too bad. Should have burned them on the way, but oh well. Right. We have a militia group over here. We'll put that town to siege. There's hardly anyone in there. That's been pillaged. Interesting. I imagine we could probably take those militia. Okay, what we'll do then is we'll head down this way. Head down that way and try and catch them out. Go into a conservative attack. Right. Roll has fallen. We are on the way to secure Springfield, at least for the time being. These forces will be ready in time, about 2 turns. How about the force over here? Shelby. Come on, man. Camden Militia. Okay, how are we going over here then with the ships? Right, merchant ships, the USS Cumberland and the African Scouting Squad. The CSF's Sumter. Right, we can promote you, so we shall do that. Right. This area is a shipping boss representing the main transit area of the merchant ships. Some factions can increase their income by adding more transport ships to the box. Additionally, this will increase the high siege transport. The enemy can try sinking these merchant vessels by sending fast ships against them, commerce raiders. This won't earn him any income, but it upsets his enemy's shipment. So we're kind of bleeding some cash from the Union right now. Atlantic Squadron and transports. I hate those goddamn Atlantic Squadrons. They're the ones who usually bring the invasion armies. Right, so we've seen some Marines over here. What's our loyalty like over here, then? 75. 55. But we're in a good position here. I mean, they're probably going to get attacked, but if we can break the rails here, that would be absolutely amazing. Right. The further back I can break the rails, the better for me. That's another... Trying to find the prime location for the rail. Probably about here, actually. Maybe. We need to make it harder for the Union to move men. So the harder we make it, the better for it is for us, I should say. Right. Martial law. So we could declare martial law in some of these areas. We gain some of that loyalty, which I will need over here, actually. Develop territory, not particularly going to use that one. Telegraph line, meh. Other than that, there's not too much else to be done. Right, war production, I'm going to get some of those light infantry. Get some of those heavy artillery pieces while I'm here now. Okay, so we succeeded. Yep. Yep, I would say we did. Okay. Right, so we brought in... Right, transport ships in the shipping lane transported 20 supply points overseas, and maximum capacity being 20. Okay. Ah, yeah, see here. Our merchant raiders have sunk merchant ships worth 20 money at 59 war supply. 59, that's significant. Considering we only have 20 and we're only gaining 38 a turn, that's a big old hefty chunk of war supply. Right, so we captured Fort Gibson, we gained some supplies, some ammunition. Yeah, fantastic. The Winchester Militia has arrived over here. Righty-o, we're going to get them on passive. But if I can get them to break the rails here and be general arseholes, that'd be fantastic. We could force this. I think we could force this. I think I'm going to go with my plan of... I'm going to put these forces in Harper's Ferry. We need to push on Alexandria, I think. Well, it really depends. It honestly really depends. Right, Mr. Stonewall Jackson. Mr. Jackson. Right, I'm going to send Mr. Jackson over here. I'm going to explain why in a few moments. We're going to send this force down here. There we go. Those forces are looking good. We're going to fuck that guy, screw him, it does not matter in the end. Well, then again. Let's see. Combine that. Get that cavalry in there. Okay. Now we still have quite a few forces over here to protect our flank. But I'm going to move these forces over here to Manassas. Then what we're going to do is we're going to dig in Manassas. Especially these forces here. So these forces will combine with that force. I'm going to move this force out. I'm going to go for it. If we can go for it over here at Friedrichstown. The reasoning is, if I can have this force over here at Alexandria retreat back across the river, then that's good. They can try and... Well, I should be able to take Alexandria from the Union. But if they do not, and I manage to get on top of Washington, the problem for the Union is then that they're going to be attacking across a river. No matter what. I mean, if they come down this way, they won't. But if they come this way, or this way, then they will. So I think that's really the best use. We need to move. To be honest. We absolutely need to move. And if I could take over this goddamn territory, that'd be lovely. Right. Do I not have enough rail? I don't. Now, I could sacrifice that rail. I could do that. I could force march them there. I would be there in 21 days. Nowhere near fast enough. Huh. It's better than nothing, I suppose. I am taking somewhat of a risk here, I'm not gonna lie. So I think we might have to keep those guys together. Right, 21 days. I think it's worth it. If we can get this force over here in a few days, then that will be worth it. I think I'm going to threaten Baltimore. If I can threaten Baltimore, I can really put a dent in the Union's plans. It's difficult to say due to the fact of what could potentially go wrong. But it's one of those things of go home or go hard, really. Go hard or go home. You know what I meant. I know what I meant. You know what I meant. This guy would be fantastic due to the fact he has the artilleryman. Which is really nice. Okay, 7 days will be over there as well. We have these forces in Richmond, the Carolina forces. Now what we could do is this. Get these guys in here as well. Oh, we can get the cavalry in. But not that. What a shame. Okay, get them on defend. Right. Get those cannons in as well. Now it's a decent force. Oh, bugger it. I do need to take this. I can't ignore it. Right. We don't have enough riverine transport. If I took out the cannons, we could move by riverine and we'd be there in about 12 days. We'd take some damage from the fort, but if I have these cannons move up as they are now... Right, we could shave off 7 days on that trip. So we'll do that. We'll save, well, shave off 10 days, 7 days. Get there a bit sooner. But if I can put that fort to siege, then that's going to help me out in the future. Right. Okay. Could do with more commanders over here, but it'll have to do for the time. Right. I want you to build that, and then at least we can get some defenses put up over here. Can't get anything else. I could build an outpost. An outpost would be really handy. Especially in these areas out here. Would allow us to, well, just get some supplies going, really. Only there? Really? Not even in the far west. God damn. I do reckon I could take these militia. Though I'd probably do better by splitting my forces up. I also do run the risk of them being destroyed individually. So we're going to be like Von Spee with the East Asian Squadron. We're going to keep together as long as it's viable. As alone we face annihilation. Right, we have these forces over here, fantastic. Now this is 3,500 men plus 1,170 horse. I could send them over here. Of course I could. But I'm actually going to send them out east. Sorry, out west. God damn it. Yeah, we'll send them over here to the Midwest. Having some more forces in the Midwest would definitely be helpful. I may send them to New Orleans. Having more forces in New Orleans could be very good. New Orleans is definitely a strategic target. But I think I'll head for Memphis. We'll go for Memphis, Tennessee. 23 days out. We're not that far away from New Orleans. So I might break off some of the forces and have some of the forces head towards New Orleans. Then at least we have more of a garrison there. Just having more of a garrison is very important. Of course, we do need to try and take this fort in the future. If I can get there, that'd be great, but I doubt it. Okay, a few days out, we'll do that one. Okay. Not seeing too much else. We're sinking a little bit out here. That's nice to see. Do we have any more naval elements? We do have these forces over here, but I can't move them out while the fortress is still up over here. It's just going to be a pain in the arse. Yeah, so you can still carry on as you are there, laddie. So we do have some war supply, and I could do with spending this. Let's see. Let's see what we have. So I could go for some Confederate infantry over here. The infantry sharpshooter. 12-pounder cannon, that's pretty cool. How much is this then? So this is about 12 war supply, that's about... Oh, that's only 6 war supply. Interesting. Right, 26 conscripts, 6 war supply, 30 days, 66 money. 66 cash, 22 conscripts, 12 war supply, 60 days. 60, goddamn, that's for the bloody cannon, that one. Right, I'm gonna work on these infantry here. There's not much of them, but honestly, it's really gonna give me a good little advantage. I'm gonna have them deployed over here, then they can respond to different areas, and they're also not in a dangerous spot. I'm going to keep some of this over here so we can build a few more replacements. Yeah. Not the elite, we'll build some more line. Actually, we'll get some of that and get some more cavalry. Really? Is it that expensive? 5 tons of war supplies, god damn. Okay, we'll get some more of that. Need to build up that reserve. If we have that reserve, then we're good. Right, Lincoln's first inaugural. Well, Lincoln, screw you. Bloody accident. Middle states. Right. Damn it. Good. Managed to get some of that through. All states mobilize their militias throughout the Confederacy. Ooh. Right. The Georgia Squadron. That's the Sumter over there. So how many ships do we have here? We only have about 8 ships, but that should do quite nicely. As long as we can keep doing damage to these guys over here, then that's fantastic. That's really what I want. Right, so I really need you to just break that rail. Evade combat. Break that rail. Break it, son. Break it. Yeah, just stay over here. Just try and break that rail. Right, the Maryland Volunteers. I'm going to try and move along this area over here because I want to try and deny the Union